Okay, welcome to this Pilates short class. Please draw in a pillow if you use one under your head. You know if you need a pillow, if your chin is jutting towards the sky and your gaze is out over your eyebrows, that means the back of your neck is short. And if you want to work on postural alignment with the help of gravity, you bring a pillow in so your neck can be long and your gaze can be perpendicular to the floor. Rest here in constructive rest with your knees pointed towards the sky and bring your thumbs into your hip creases and press your femur bones away from your pelvis, lengthening your spine. And breathe a little space between your vertebrae. Broad shoulders. Traction your spine by pressing your heels of your hands into the femur. Breathe space between the vertebrae. It should feel good. If it doesn't, please don't do it. And then release your hands. Let your palms rest on your belly for a moment and breathe into your hands. Invite a three-dimensional breath down deep into the abdomen, softening your belly on the exhales. Many of us have been taught not to breathe into our bellies, and I want you to try to forget that. Massage your belly with your hands. It's okay to have a belly. Breathe into your hands. Relax the front body onto the back body. Now try to breathe into the low back. And you may even draw your hands underneath your low back so you have a little bit of pressure against the back to breathe into. Fluid breath. Breathe your side waists away from each other as you breathe the back body away from the front body. Now that we've awakened the three-dimensional breath, release your arms and bring your middle fingers to the top of your navel towards your chin. And imagine that's 12 o'clock on a clock and there's a marble laying there and you're going to roll the marble towards 3 o'clock, then towards 6 o'clock, then towards 9 o'clock and back to 12. And you're going to do this without rolling your bones of your pelvis. So you're not going to move the pelvic bones. You're going to use the muscles inside your abdomen to roll the marble around the circumference of your navel. And if you're like, I don't know how to do that, then don't worry. Just imagine the idea of rolling the marble around the circumference of your navel. Use the muscles you think you would need to do that, but don't tilt the bones. This will help you wake up to sensations in the inner core. Feel for them. Coming back to 12 o'clock, roll the marble the other way. Don't roll the bones of the pelvis. I know that's hard. See what muscles you can wake up as you roll the marble. Shoulders relaxed. I just had to relax mine. Jaw relaxed. Deep concentration. And then nod tailbone towards earth and tailbone towards sky and let the marble roll away. And feel into your low back. And if there's any tenderness, you may want to try somatic walking, lifting one hip and then the other, keeping your feet firm on the floor. This isn't a twist with the knees. It's just a very light lifting and releasing of the hip, which sends a little undulation up the fascial tissue of the spine, inviting hydration, gentle movement, a release of stiffness and tension. Let your arms rest to your sides, palms up, just walking the pelvis with ease. fluid, long, slow, deep, and even breath. Now let your pelvis become still, spine in neutral. Take a deep inhale. Exhale through your straw, through pursed lips, without flattening the low back. Lift the pelvic floor into the body. Feel the diaphragm, the breathing diaphragm lifting, and then soften and inhale. Exhale again, lifting the pelvic floor into the body, lengthening along the spine, and then soften and inhale again. And exhale through your straw, lifting the pelvic floor into the body, lengthening the sleeve of muscles along the spine, softening to inhale. Jaw relaxed, eyes relaxed, but you exhale through the straw and feel for the inner core engaging, the hug of the transverse abdominis, maybe even the hug of the multifidi along the spine. Take 3 more breaths like that, really feeling for an engagement of the inner core as the pelvic floor lifts into the body. The diaphragm lifts under the lungs. The transverse abdominis hugs towards your neutral spine. Don't flatten the back in effort. And after one more exhale, soften the shoulders, rest the eyes back in their sockets, and gently on the next exhale, float one leg to tabletop. Float it down light as a feather. You may not even float the shin all the way up. If you have spinal issues right now, stay low to the ground, exhaling the lift and inhaling the release. But some of you will exhale all the way up. Float the foot down, keeping your Pilates square active. You can still exhale the lift to activate the inner core. And then exhale one knee into the chest and the other to follow, and circle the knees wide apart and back together again. Take the circles the other way. Now, some of you may let the practice end there if you're dealing with a spinal injury, but it will have been good core work for your inner core. Some of you may want to go on to the series of 5, so hug your knees into your chest. Lengthen your left leg out at a 45-degree angle. Nod your nose slightly towards your mouth and lift from the hairline at the top of your forehead. Almost lift the head off the floor. So maybe you're just lifting 30% of the weight, maybe 50, maybe 60. But what you're using is these front neck flexors, not the base of the skull. You can feel the muscles, see what's working, and then switch and switch. You'll stay in this neck position if you have osteoporosis or a neck injury. Those of you who don't may float the head up if you can lift from the hairline, not the chin, and lengthen through the crown. And reach the toe, float the feet, reach through the big toe ball mound, spread your toes. Reach and reach and reach. Single leg stretch, the first of the series of 5. Flex your feet, press out through the heel, press and press. And now hug both knees back in. Lift hands and feet for the sky. Zip up your inner thighs. Turn your feet out into their Pilates V. Hug in the glutes gently towards the ilium bones, the hamstrings towards the backs of the legs. Take your wrists away from your ankles. Circle your arms and hug the knees in. Inhale. Stretch out to your point of control. That's where your Pilates square is strong. The ribs aren't flaring. When you come out, you have a neutral lumbar curve. So for some people, it may be you're lifting the legs higher and you're not totally straightening. That's okay. You could come with a bent knee out instead of a straight leg. You want to do what's best for your low back. Don't push to the hardest movement possible. Nose nods towards mouth. We almost lift from the hairline. And let's take one more and come back in. Lift your legs to tabletop, arms open, shoulders resting back, toe dip one leg and come up. Toe dip the other leg and come up. Keep your Pilates square strong and your shoulders released back. Relax your face, maybe even smile. Work from the core, not your shoulders, not your eye muscles, not your forehead. Now come together, open your knees as wide as your shoulders, toe dip the leg at that angle. Just go down about 2/3 of the way. Don't try to tap the floor, don't try to go fast. It's actually a slower lowering of the leg is going to give you a longer eccentric contraction of the psoas and of your hip flexors, healthier, creating nice long muscles. When we slow down, we don't have the likelihood to be as sloppy. And you can stay with those or toe dip both legs. Keep your shoulders broad. Take a break whenever you need one. Hug low ribs towards your hip pointers, but try not to flatten the low back. If your spine is against the floor here and is uncomfortable, put a folded blanket under your pelvis. Come back up. Some of you will stay with one of those. Some will lengthen the legs into your Pilates V, flex the feet, lower the heels, point the toes, and lift. Now, can you keep your shoulders broad, your hands relaxed, your neck long, gaze perpendicular to the floor? Some of you will stay here. Some will bring your hands behind your head, and you'll support the head, lifting the head with the hands, lengthening the spine. And let's do one more wherever you are. And come back up and bend the knees. Bring your right foot overhead, left leg long, and pulse, pulse, and switch. Pulse, 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 pulse. Nod your nose towards your mouth. Almost lift from the hairline. And stay there, even if you know you can float your head. Stay there for a little while so that you really feel your front neck flexors engage. Because some of us can lift the head without using these front neck flexors, and they're part of our core. Float your feet. Float your head up, lengthen through the crown. Pulse, 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 pulse. Flex your feet. And if that's too much, you can always bend the front knee. In any of these positions, you're still working the psoas with the leg that's going down the mat. Now relax your feet, but keep your legs long. Pilates worked a lot with ballet dancers, and sometimes they needed to rest their feet, but the legs stayed long while they worked their core. Come back, feet together, bend your knees, and take a fluid, three-dimensional breath. Float your hands, one on top of the other behind your head. So we don't interlace them so we won't yank the head and neck. Exhale, lift your right elbow, lengthen your right leg at a 45-degree angle. Lift the right shoulder blade, lift the right rib cage, and switch. Lifting the elbow towards the sky instead of taking it across towards the knee will help us keep a long spine. We're still using the obliques, but we're not as likely to use momentum and flop across the body. So we lift the elbow as if we were going to press a button above the midline of us, above the forehead, and we reach with that elbow. We really reach. And we think of the twist as coming more from the lifting side, low ribs reaching across towards the opposite hip pointer. And we reach and reach and reach. And this helps us really strengthen the obliques, which are our muscles for side bending and for twisting. They also are responsible to put the brakes on side bending and twisting. Now come back to center. Release your head. Float one foot light as a feather to the floor, the other foot to follow, and rest with your breath. Breathe into the whole circumference of your torso. Relax your shoulders. Release your jaw and your eyes. Maybe for a moment, walk the soles of your feet together. Let your knees open wide. Breathe into the whole circumference of your lowest ribs. Feel for the diaphragm ballooning down into the belly, into the low back. And as you exhale, feel for it rising up under your lungs, helping you expel the air. We can't strengthen the full circumference of the core without a three-dimensional breath. So let's take it for a moment to strengthening the back body. Ground your humerus bones of your arms and lift your pelvis. And lower your pelvis. And lift and lower. And lift and hold and pulse your pubic bone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Lift the right hip a little higher. Use the right buttock. Relax the left. Feel how you may be getting a stretch of the psoas from the lifted right inner thigh to the right side of the spine. Float the left buttock up. Reach. Feel the left inner thigh to the left sides of the spine. And swing across and back and forth. Across. Swinging the hips. And come back to center and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Reach the tailbone long. Traction your hips away from your shoulders. Stretching your psoas while you strengthen the back body. Three-dimensional breath. Fill that whole circle of the lowest ribs. Fill the belly and the low back. And exhale, float your pelvis to the floor. Release your arms. And roll yourselves over onto your sides. Come on to hands and knees. And inhale a cat. And exhale a hissing cat. Make it gentle at first. And then maybe take it a little deeper. Remember, we want to honor the body. So if it says anything's tender, take it slow. Invite space. Let your body know, I hear you, I feel you, and I'm paying attention. Then we're less likely to injure ourselves in these practices. Roll your toes under, lift your hips. Keep the hip creases back, lengthening your spine into your downward dog. Make sure your head isn't falling through like a heavy fruit. Head is above your arm bones. Lengthen the spine, drawing the hips back, and walk your dog. Fluid breath. Stretch the sides of your spine. And slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Rest your belly on your femur bones. Maybe interlace your arms and let your head hang. Now, if those of you with a really tight spine cannot lay your belly on your legs here, come up and hold on to a piece of furniture and traction your pelvis back, still with the belly on your femur bones, because that will protect your lumbar spine. Those of you who want to come into a forward fold, do so only if you can leave your belly on your femur bones. Come that high and let your spine release. Breathe space between the vertebrae. Let the head traction the spine or the arms if you're in this position, leaning the pelvis away from the arms. And then as you're ready, bend at the knees, unhinge from the hips, lift your arms towards the sky, and release your arms to your sides. And let's inhale and draw in, big breath, for a wonderful day and week for all of you. Thanks for your practice.